Hi there, Stephen.
Hello, Catherine.
We're going to start here in France. The Prime Minister Manuel Valls going to be putting an economic plan to Parliament a little bit later on. But before he's even done that, he's already been making some concessions.
That's right. He has this unenviable task of cutting 50 billion euros from public spending in France. No small ask, as he's had found out. He had already announced measures including a freeze on public sector pay and a freeze on the majority of social welfare payments until next October. But under pressure from his own party, he's had to row back on some of those measures. In all, the concessions will help 8 million people, but cost up to 2 billion euros. Rochelle Ferguson has the details.
His critics say he's just softening a sharp blow, while his supporters say it's proof that France's new Prime Minister is flexible. On Monday, via a letter to Socialist MPs, Manuel Valls outlined a series of concessions designed to take the sting out of 50 billion euro spending cuts. One of his key concessions surrounds pensions. Despite initial plans to freeze them as of October, pensions below €1,200 a month will rise with inflation, but those above that threshold won't increase until October 2015. Not everyone's convinced, but unions admit it's an improvement on Valls' earlier proposal.
The main point is that people receiving lower pensions are being recognised and that the threshold of €1,200 net is okay with us because it's what we've been asking for. On the other hand, the move to freeze other pensions until October 2015 will affect the purchasing power of those retirees.
Rises to income support welfare payments, which already figured in Valls' plans, have now been brought forward to September 2014 instead of 2015. Another of Valls' concessions will see the country's lowest paid civil servants escape a pay freeze. It's a measure that over 1.5 million employees are expected to benefit from. But defrosting these pay freezes will cost the French state up to another 2 billion euros.
All right, so Stephen, tell us, what can we expect to hear from Manuel Valls today?
We do have the broad outlines of where the cuts are going to be made. The biggest slice will come from the budget that deals with the majority of public services and public sector staff. 18 billion to come from that budget. There's also going to be cuts to things like healthcare and welfare payments, but it's going to, the sort of cuts that Manuel Valls has said he's going to make is going to be things like, for example, in healthcare, moves towards generic medicine rather than cutting services. Similar when it comes to welfare payments. They're going to try and save the money when it comes to the administration of these welfare payments rather than cutting the payments themselves.
It's very hard-fought benefits and advantages here in France, aren't they?
Indeed, and those are the sort of things we won't be expecting to hear from Manuel Valls today. We won't be expecting to hear him talk about cutting things like benefits. He'll be saying words like savings and freezes and steering clear of those hot-button words like austerity or tax rises or worse feared structural reform, which also can cause all sorts of problems in France. Of course, the whole aim of these 50 billion in cuts is try to fund the tax cut to businesses that François Hollande announced back in the start of the year. That's the aim of that, of course, is to increase employment here.
OK, very important issue here in France. Take us through what's happening on the markets.
Well, we'll start in Asia. There's no trading on the Nikkei in Japan today, closed for a public holiday. A fairly mixed picture across the rest of the Asian markets. And investors said to be holding back ahead of key economic announcements due out later this week.
OK, and there's quite a bit of companies news around today. We're going to start off with the results from Samsung.
Yeah, the electronics maker has seen its profits rise by almost 6% in the first 3 months of this year to $7.3 billion. With sales in its flagship mobile division fell by 2.5%. Samsung is the world's largest smartphone maker, and it's hoping its sales will rebound after the launch of the Galaxy S5 model last month. Net sales at Nokia fell by 15% in the first 3 months of the year, but operating profits of the Finnish mobile firm were up by 1/5 to €304 million. The company also named Rajiv Suri, head of its mobile networks division, as its new chief executive. He'll take charge of the company without its loss-making mobile phone business, which has been sold to Microsoft. And the French pharmaceutical company Sanofi has reported lower than expected earnings for the first quarter. The fall's down to delays in the delivery of certain vaccines and increased competition from generic medicines in its animal health business. The company was also hit by exchange rate fluctuations, knocking about 6% off its sales figures.
So we're going to end up now with an American TV show that's having a big impact on one Chinese company's shares. How does that link together?
The Big Bang Theory, very big in China, as it turns out. The show had been removed from the website of the online Chinese giant Sohu after an order by regulators, which are carrying out a crackdown on what they call offensive content. But The Big Bang Theory was one of the most popular shows on Sohu's sites, and as a result, it's hit their sales and their share price, which has fallen some 14% over the past 4 days. Now, Sohu wasn't given a particular reason as to why they couldn't keep showing The Big Bang Theory online. The regulator didn't comment when asked by the Bloomberg Newswire. But online companies have been hit quite a lot, actually, in this recent crackdown by regulators. 110 websites were taken offline on all sorts of companies, including the search engine Baidu, seeing their shares hit as a result.
Wow, and The Big Bang Theory, I've only watched it once or twice. It's not a particularly offensive TV show,
Doesn't
is it?
strike me that anything particularly offensive in it, but maybe I haven't watched it closely enough.
Also, we're not Chinese authorities, so we wouldn't know. Thanks very much, Stephen Carroll, rounding up the business news for us. We're going to move on to web news, starting with online support rallying for tornado victims in the United States.
A series of tornadoes struck Arkansas on Sunday night. Here we see the city of Mayflower. Houses completely destroyed, wiping entire residential neighborhoods off the map. Upturned cars, uprooted trees. Photojournalist Brian M. Finger used a drone to film this video, which has been widely shared online and testifies to the scale of damage caused. There are now many pictures of the aftermath doing the rounds on social networks. Shots that show the scenes of devastation across Arkansas, but also in the neighbouring state of Oklahoma, which was also hit by tornadoes late Sunday night and early Monday morning. Struck by these images, American web users have been posting messages of support for those affected, using the Pray for Arkansas or Pray for Oklahoma Twitter hashtags, and urging their fellow citizens to spare a thought for those who have lost everything. Victims of the tornadoes have been directed towards the Red Cross website and Twitter page for information on the nearest emergency shelters. The organisation has also set up a webpage where victims can post messages for loved ones to let them know they're safe. It's an effective way of reassuring people with friends or family living in Arkansas and Oklahoma, as communications are down in many areas, meaning they can't be reached on the telephone.
You don't have to have yourself with walking with black people.
These racist remarks attributed to the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers have rocked the US basketball world over the past few days. The scandal was exposed by the TMZ site on Friday when they posted an audio recording of a conversation between Donald Sterling and his girlfriend. He was apparently angry. She posted a photo to her Instagram page showing her posing with basketball legend Magic Johnson. And the former Los Angeles Lakers star was one of the first to react on Twitter. Indeed, Magic Johnson has said he will be boycotting Clippers matches as long as Donald Sterling remains the owner, adding this type of discrimination has no place in the NBA. Other basketball players have also spoken out against Sterling's alleged racist comments, saying they could never play for his team. And one of the current players for the Clippers, DeAndre Jordan, has added his voice to the wave of indignation by posting a simple black square to his Instagram page. So with Donald Sterling now the subject of an NBA inquiry, his critics want him out and have been campaigning under the Sterling Must Go Twitter hashtag. Social networkers are also pointing out this isn't the first time Sterling has sparked controversy and has been accused of bigotry in the past. Many are saying it's time he answered for his actions, and they expect North America's Professional Basketball League to take exemplary action. Doctoral candidate Aditya Khosla from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is heading up a team of researchers working on a site that will be able to predict how popular your Instagram photo will be. They've analysed data from over 2 million online photos, and the resulting algorithm takes into account everything from colour, textures and objects present. Initial conclusions showed pics featuring miniskirts, bras and guns are the most popular, and at the other end of the scale, photos of golf carts or radiators are likely to flop. This video was put together by Kema Robotics and shows drones playing all manner of musical instruments, bells, percussion, keyboard, and performing a selection of well-known melodies. The clip is called Flying Robot Rock Stars, and you can check it out in its entirety on YouTube.
We're going to take a short break here on Live from Paris, but do stay with us. Plenty more news coming up in just a few minutes' time. And in focus, don't miss our special report from Iraq. That's happening at 9:15 Paris time. We're following Iraqis as they gear up for tomorrow's elections amid deadly violence and sectarian tensions.